All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're digging into Andrew Gard's book, The Ordering Principle, and it tackles one of the biggest questions you can possibly ask. Is our entire universe just one big cosmic accident? Or is there something else going on? Some kind of deeper, intentional order to it all? And the book really boils it down to this, right here. Is our existence a fragile miracle, or is it just pure luck? I mean, this question really gets to the very core of how we see ourselves. Are we just some unbelievable statistical fluke that happened to work out? Or is there a genuine structure to reality itself? Now, the pure luck universe idea, it's pretty straightforward. It basically argues that everything we see, this incredibly complex universe, is just the result of random chance. Unguided physical laws just playing out over billions and billions of years. No grand plan, just cosmic dice rolls. So let's see how Gar's book starts to push back on that idea. To get us started, the book presents what it calls Exhibit A, the fragile miracle. And interestingly, it doesn't start way out in the cosmos. Nope, it starts right here at home on planet Earth. Okay, so here's a number for you, 23.5 degrees. On its own, it doesn't really mean much, does it? But this one little number, well, it turns out to be one of the most critical reasons any of us are here to even talk about it. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. That 23.5 degrees, that's Earth's axial tilt. And as the book explains, this incredibly precise angle is what gives us everything. Stable seasons, balanced ecosystems, it's what allows life to flourish. If that tilt were off by just a little bit, the alternative would be absolute chaos. We're talking extreme climate swings, total instability. Gar calls this a fragile miracle, a single, finely tuned number that makes order and life itself possible.
Okay, so let's zoom out. We're moving from a feature of our little planet to something, well, something much, much bigger. Exhibit B introduces this idea of a universal operating system, a kind of underlying code for reality itself.
This quote from Gard really gets to the heart of his argument. He's saying that mathematics isn't something we humans just invented to describe the universe. No, it's a fundamental feature of the universe that we discovered. The truth that 2 plus 2 equals 4 exists whether or not there's anyone around to do the calculation. It's a timeless, universal fact. He actually calls it the language beneath reality. You can think of it like a cosmic operating system. It's this hidden structure that makes sure planets stay in orbit, that atoms interact in predictable ways, that light travels at a constant speed, all with this unfailing consistency. And this OS, it was running long, long before we ever showed up to notice it. And now, we get to what might be the most mind-bending part of the entire argument, what the book calls the universal prescriptions. These are the fundamental constants of physics. You can think of them as the dials of the universe, and they seem to be tuned to these extraordinarily precise values for life to even be possible. So first up, we've got the fine structure constant, which is roughly 1 over 137. This number basically dictates how atoms hold themselves together. If you change it even a tiny bit, stars can't forge carbon. And since we're carbon-based life, that's kind of the end of the story for us. All of chemistry just falls apart. Then you've got the cosmological constant. And the precision here is, it's just almost impossible to wrap your head around. It's tuned to 122 decimal places. This value controls the expansion of space itself. Any tiny, tiny deviation, and the universe would have either ripped itself to shreds or collapsed back into nothingness almost immediately. And this one, the Hoyle state. This is a very, very specific energy level in carbon. Without this razor-thin resonance, stars wouldn't be able to produce enough carbon from helium. No carbon, no life. The very scaffolding for biology just wouldn't exist. And finally, omega, which is the density of the universe. Its value is so incredibly close to 1 that it keeps the universe geometrically flat, perfectly balanced between collapsing on itself or expanding forever into a cold, empty void. It's another one of these knife-edge conditions for our existence. And the physicist who discovered that precise energy level for carbon, Fred Hoyle, he was an atheist. But this discovery, it really shook him. He famously called the finding deeply unsettling. He just felt the odds were way too steep for this to be some random accident. So the point is, this feeling of unease, it's not just philosophical. It's coming directly from the scientists who actually uncovered these numbers. So all of this brings us to the book's really profound conclusion, a concept it calls order before explanation. And it's a way to kind of reframe this whole debate, to move beyond a simple, is it luck or is it design kind of question. Gard calls this the beyond then perspective. It's the idea that the order we see wasn't created for us, it just is. The universe was already orchestrated with this unbelievable mathematical care long before we ever arrived on the scene. We are a consequence of that pre-existing order, not the reason for it. And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. Instead of getting bogged down asking why it's ordered, the book encourages us to first just acknowledge that it is ordered. This single observation, that the universe behaves as if it has an underlying intelligible structure, that's the foundation. The explanation, whatever that turns out to be, has to come after that recognition. So, the book leaves us with this final thought. If all of these constants and laws and mathematical structures aren't just random noise, but are actually notes in a kind of cosmic song that's been playing long before we showed up, then what does it really mean for us to listen?